So today I will be reviewing 1408, the 2007 Stephen King horror movie adaptation that was a smash at the box office and stars John Cusack and Samuel Jackson. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the acting in this movie. First of all, John Cusack. John Cusack carries this movie for the most part because he's most of the time the only person in any scene, and he's the one that the movie is built upon, and he carries it well. Samuel Jackson also does extremely well in his part, which is a rather minor role but extremely important one, where he basically sets up the conflict in the movie and builds up what is going to happen. And he also does a good job later in the movie in a couple scenes, if only brief. The rest of the acting in this movie is extremely serviceable and does a good job of what it sets out to accomplish. Now, how scary is this movie overall? Not really scary on repeated viewings. First time it might get you a couple times, but later on you'll just be going, that wasn't really as scary as I remember. But anything that is a little creepy or something is helped out by the cinematography in this movie, which I believe is rather well done. And it's done from different perspectives that can kind of give you a claustrophobic feel sometimes, or just kind of adds to the overall insanity of what's happening later in the movie, and you can almost always tell what's going on, which I appreciate in this day and age. Okay, now on to the story of this movie, which I believe is rather generic in the sense that it's a typical skeptic meeting a real thing that he, of course, makes his living off of, and he doesn't believe in at first, but as time goes on, he starts to become a real believer in it. And also, he also has a rather generic, sad background that you've probably seen a lot of times. But this is all made up for, and the relationship between John Cusack, and who plays the main character, and his wife in the movie, which gives the movie its emotional pull, along with the villain of this movie, which is one of the main reasons to watch this movie, because the villain makes you want to root for the main character. It makes you want him to succeed because of how much of a bastard this main villain is, how much it tortures the main character, how much it just tears at him bit by bit. You want the main character to succeed because of how terrible this villain is. And it is the main reason to watch this movie. And it is what carries the story. Okay, so obviously I have some high praise for this movie, and it's because it is good, and I do recommend that you go see it. I would give this movie 7 or 8 out of 10, and with a strong recommendation to watch it and buy it if it's cheap.